right, welcome back. We've done a great job modeling the center of the base. Now we need to model the arms and the outside shroud and the foot. All right, let's get to it. So first we're going to do is flip it over to the back, and we're going to create a sketch on this back surface of the base. And as I do this next part, I'm going to need to be able to know where this opening is. And when I'm looking at it straight from the back here, I can't see it. So I'm going to tip it up a little bit so I can see where the opening is. Press P for project, and then I'm going to click on this bottom line of the opening right here, this bottom edge, and I click OK. I'm going to click back to the back view up here, and notice here now that I've got this purple line, that shows me where the opening is. Now I can be sure not to build an arm on that opening on accident. All right, next thing I want to do now is draw a circle that's going to be the inside diameter of the shroud. That should be 96 millimeters wide. So I'm a diameter of 96 millimeters. So I'm going to grab a circle tool, click on the center of the sketch, drag it out a little bit, and then type in 96 and hit enter. I'm going to zoom out so I can see the whole thing. Now I need a second line that goes on the outside of that one that's 2 millimeters bigger than the in one, but because I need to have 2 millimeters of thickness on this side and on this side, it needs to be 4 millimeters wider than the inside circle. Now I could do that by making a new circle and making it 4 millimeters bigger than the first one, or I can just use the offset tool, which is this tool in the modify menu. I'm going to click on the offset tool, click on the outside circle, and then type in 2 and enter. And now I've got another circle that's 2 millimeters bigger than the inside circle. Okay, perfect. Next thing I want to do now is I'm going to draw in all the arms. I want one of my arms to be straight down, and I want it to be close to this opening. So what I'm going to do is just grab a line. I'm going to come over here somewhere, and I'm just going to drag a line, or click once, come down to the circle, and click twice. Now I didn't put it vertical, I just put it off to the skewed weird angle right now. We'll square it away in a little bit. The second line I'm going to draw is going to be on the right side of the middle, but not touching this purple. If you start it on that purple, you won't be able to break it off later. So make sure you're not on the purple when you do it. You should be on the circle, but not on the purple. You may want to zoom in a bunch so you can get kind of close here, but not quite there. Zoom back out. I clicked once, zoom back out, and then you can click down here on the circle somewhere. Awesome. So now we've kind of got our two lines for our arm. Notice how they're at a wonky, weird angle? We'll fix that next. So the next thing I'm going to do is create a construction line. So I've got my line tool selected. I'm going to come over here and choose construction. I'm going to come up and click on the center point of the circle, and I'm going to drag straight down to the inside circle here, and I'm going to click. And notice how there's this new little symbol right here. This is the vertical constraint tool. So let's get a little comb or something, and it's straight up and down. That means this black construction line is being held vertical. It can't be turned to the sides. And we want that. We want this one to be vertical. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the parallel tool, which is in my constraints menu. I'm going to click on the parallel tool, and I'm going to click on this blue line and my construction line. That makes that blue line parallel to the construction line, which makes it vertical. And then I'm going to click on this line and make it parallel to my construction line as well. So those two are both parallel. The only problem is they're way too wide right now. I really only want them 2 millimeters thick so they don't block much air. So I'm going to do dimensioning, and I'm going to dimension this line here, the blue line on the right. Click on it, and then click on that middle construction line, and then click one more time to place the measurement. And this is halfway, so I want it to be 1 millimeter, enter. And do the same thing. Click on this outside one, the construction line in the middle, and then click one more time, and then type in 1, enter. And now each one of those is 1 millimeter from the center, which is a total of 2 millimeters thick. Woo, that was a lot of effort. So right now we've got one of our 3 construction or our arms built. We need to build the other 2. And the other 2 are really easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a circle pattern tool. To do this, we're going to hit escape a bunch to get out of the line tool, or the dimensioning tool. We're going to go to create and come down here to circular pattern. The object that we're going to pattern are going to be these two lines we just drew. So I'm going to click on this line and that line for the arm. I'm not going to click on the center line. I could if I wanted to, but I don't need to. The center point of our circle is going to be right here in the middle of our sketch. And notice how it's already drawn two other arms for us. It's showing them as dashed lines because it hasn't really drawn them yet. I could mess with some stuff here, so I could add 4 arms or 5 or 6 or 7. And I think 3 is probably enough. So I'm going to stick with 3. If you want to customize yours and have it look a little different, adding a 4th or 5th arm will look cool, and it'll kind of distinguish yours from everybody else's. And I'm going to click OK. All right, so now I've got the arms drawn and the shroud drawn. All you need to do now is draw in this foot. And this foot's a little bit complicated. Let's go ahead and draw it and see how it works. For this part, we're going to be using what's called a freehand sketch technique. So we're not going to worry about distances. We're just going to get the general shape down. So we're going to come down from the edge of the circle, down at an angle, straight down, straight over, straight down, straight over. And we're only going to make half of it. All right. So with that said, let's get to it. I'm going to grab my line tool. I'm going to grab my construction line tool and come down here and go right to the middle of the circle. Well, actually, let's go right off this construction line here that we already have. So from this corner, I'm going to drag straight down and click. I'm going to hit escape to leave the line tool. That's going to be my midpoint. And now I'm going to just start sketching. I'm going to start up here in the circle anywhere. It doesn't matter where. See how it turns to an X? That means I'm on the circle. I'm going to drag down at an angle. Whoops. I'm going to turn off my construction line real quick. I'm going to drag down at an angle like there-ish. Doesn't really matter where. Click. Drag straight down. Click. Drag straight to the left. Click. Drag straight down. Click. And then drag straight over to my center line. Click. Okay. If you need to, you can resize anything you want. I'm going to do a little bit of quick work here. So notice how on mine got a little wonky here at the bottom. It's like tipped down. I want that to be straight across. So I'm going to come up here and grab my horizontal vertical constraint tool. And then I'm going to click on this bottom line, and that's going to snap it back to horizontal. Okay? All right. So I'm going to hit finish sketch. Well, not hit finish sketch. Don't do that. Never mind. I'm going to hit escape a bunch of times. Now we need to actually make these the right lengths so that they fit everything we need. The first one we're going to do is we're going to do D for dimensioning, and we're going to dimension this line right here. So I'm going to click on that line, move my mouse down a little bit, and click one more time. And then I'm going to do 12 for that line. This line right here, I'm going to click on this line, go over here a little bit, click one more time. This one should be 5 millimeters. And then this one, I'm not going to define this one here, and we're going to define this one on this side. So click on the line, move over a little bit, click a second time, and type in 10. And then click on this bottom line, move down, and type in 20. And then click on this line, come over to the center line, and this distance should be 4. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to make, notice how that when this circle comes around and hits this line, there's this weird like kink. It's not smooth. We're going to smooth that out. And to do that, we're going to use a tool called the tangent tool. And what the tangent tool does, it takes a line that comes in at a weird angle like this to a circle, and it makes it come in smooth. So the circle just smoothly comes off. Watch what happens when I do it. I'm going to click on this line here, and then click on the outside circle, and it just made it so that when this circle comes down, it comes down perfectly smooth onto this line. And once we do that, all of our lines are black, which means they are all set to they're all fixed in place. One thing I did notice is I didn't type in 4 here. So this number here should be 4 from this inside to this middle circle or middle line here. All right, now that's half the foot. So we've drawn one half of the foot. We could go draw the other half, but I wanted to show you something kind of cool. We can also do what's called a mirror. So we're going to come here to the create, and we're going to choose the mirror tool. It's going to ask us which objects do we want to mirror, and we're going to choose all the lines on this side of our middle dashed line. And then the mirror line is going to be that construction line in the middle. Click on it, and notice how it just drew all the other ones over for us. So we're going to click OK, and it just mirrored them out into the foot. Awesome, that's so much work. And then we're going to extrude this now. Now we're ready to extrude. We're going to hit E for extrude. Actually, let me go back to where we were. Whoops. That's where we were in the back side. Hit E for extrude, and we're going to start selecting all of these pieces that we want for the shroud. And I'm going to tip it back over to the front here so I can see which way I'm going, and I want to extrude out in this direction. Now I don't need these walls to go any higher than the surface of the base here. So instead of pulling up a certain distance, I'm going to click here and go click to object. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to click on this outside, this top edge of the base here. And you can see right away it extrudes all the way out to there. Click OK, click up here, and now I've got that whole bottom of it done. We still need to extrude more to get it up higher, and we'll do that part next.